Hey, welcome back, everyone. Hope y'all are having a fantastic week. Appreciate all the love and support we've been getting lately here on the channel. 300 subscribers, absolutely crazy. Appreciate each and every one of you. And the videos recently have been popping off as well with the views. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. Can't wait to keep giving you guys some more great videos here. Today, we've got another 1 versus 1. We're going to be going up against a guy called Kikaru. He's a very good opponent. He's very sneaky. So we'll have to be on our A game here to ensure that we can secure the win. And boy, do we want to win this game. Hope y'all enjoy, and let's get on into it here. So we are playing on the Hyakala map. Kikaru is the Soviets. I am playing as Germans. We are playing as the all-around doctrine. And we are rushing up 2 Grenadier squads and a couple singles out to the northeast and my home point. The Grenadier squads are going to head to the middle. I'm going to split off the MG ammo bearer, and the machine gunner. Get them up on one of the hills. We're pulling out the rifles from the Grenadiers, and we are switching over to the HE round to make sure that is loaded well in advance of getting to the point. And we're going to split the squads to kind of take either side of this point. One will go on the right side, which has some decent terrain and cover, but less kind of firing angles. The other squad is going to go on the left side here, which is a little more open, but also has some decent buildings that we can get guys in. So we'll get the MG and one of the rifles, the ammo bearer, in the main building, and then we'll kind of spread out the rest of the guys around here and try to push up to cut off this crossroad. I want to get as far up as I can here. And it looks like Kikaru is kind of doing the same thing. He's got his guys spread out in the point. He does have cap weight. We're going to smoke out with the left squad, and we're going to try to push. We do hit his building with a Panzerfaust, utilizing F4 there. So we're going to try to get rid of as much freight as possible. So we can see the rifle grenadiers kind of going to work. And now that the initial push has kind of happened, I'm going to get a couple more singles out to the left flank. Kikaru is known in the community to be very sneaky and utilize like not the recon squads, but like special ops recon and snipers with Hanser Shreks and Piats to get behind your lines, because snipers in the recon ops obviously have better stealth. So he's known to get guys behind your lines and take out your high tier assets. So we have got to be very careful with that. Very careful. So the last thing I want to have happen in this game is to lose any of my high tier vehicles once we get beyond tier like 2. I don't expect to see anything early for a sniper sneak behind the lines. And if we can kind of play this right, I don't think we'll let him kind of have the time and the MP to do so. But that's my goal. I just don't want to lose to a sneak sniper Shrek, as it's being called. But we can see with Kikaru, he went for an early Dishka truck, and he still has cap weight. Although most of my guys from the initial 2 lots kind of got rinsed in the middle here, especially on the right side. And the left, I guess, too. But the Dishka is going to just roll around, kind of do some work. I've got a couple MGs, so I'm trying to see if I can spray it, although I'm spraying high because of the tree, and I'm kind of further back here. Do have another one over here. Keys to aim for the engine block because of this paper. If you take out the engine block with an MG, you will take out the truck. You can also decrew it since there's no gun shield or anything, but the engine block is definitely the easiest way to take out a Dishka truck. Or a gas as well. The gas can be taken out the same way. We're going to spread out the 3rd squad. We've got 3 rifle Brens now on the point, and we're going to make sure that we are utilizing them as best to our advantage. We did also call in a half track, which I am partially going to try to use to counter the Dishka if it stays. And we're going to push some of these guys up. I do want to utilize these Panzerfausts. There's not going to be many armor targets. These Fausts are going to be great for dealing with not only these buildings, but just bolted infantry and terrain. So We get a nice two-piece there with that Faust. And it looks like we've kind of cleared off most of his guys in the middle now. Or at least the guys that we can see. So he's pulling back the Dishka truck. We're getting close to the 5-minute mark. We're going to slightly bring back the half track. And we're going to move these kind of flank guys up a little bit further. You get an MG team out here too. Especially considering he's kind of pushed up further on that left side and is now kind of at the road. Actually, he's past the road, I should say. Nearly into our side. So it's a lane that if you had a sniper out, could be crawling, but yeah, there's no way it'd be there yet. We're gonna dig some foxholes here. Get the guys dug in. It's got another squad that just pushed in. Half track is up, so we're gonna direct control a little bit. Usually with direct control, you do get a little bit further of a range boost than you would if it was just the AI. So for instance, grenades, you can kind of throw a little bit further. Same thing with vehicles, just like a tank. In direct control, the shot actually comes from the front of the barrel versus in, I guess overall, you know, the overall view, third person, I guess I could call it. It actually comes from the center mass. So, yeah. Direct control gives you a little bit further range. But he does go with a half track. So it looks like he is the Lend-Lease Doctrine. So we've got some Marines out the field. He's got a half track in the Dishka. The half track does take out our half track, considering it's a 50. We're going to call in the Puma to try to deal with that. And we are also going to see if we get a second half track out onto our side of the point. Or our side, yeah. Kind of like our side of the map, our point, to still try to contest with the Dishka truck. So that is now just kind of sitting over there. We do have line of sight. And I've got to get line of sight on this half track, but I know he hasn't really finished it. Figured that shot might have done it, but looks like the chitin coop is strong enough to deflect. We do miss. We're kind of rushing the shot because he's pushing us. That 50 can do some damage. We're going to slightly back up. We get a lucky shot and take out all of the crew, and it is actually still crewable. I'm going to try to rush up a guy there to see if I can get in it, but looks like he's got a DP laying on the ground there, so that is slightly unfortunate. So I don't want him to recrew it, so we're just going to finish off. I would have liked to try to get in it and capture that, because that would have been great assets to have, but oh well. And because he just bought the half track, I know we've got like a minute or so before he can buy another DP buy. So we're going to push this half track up, take out this Dishka. We're going to challenge it. We do get the engine block, so it is down. Still crewable. Well, it's not crewable. It can be recrewed at the very least, so we do have to worry about that slightly. I'm sure he is going to crew it, but we do have bigger things to worry about at the moment. Like getting his tier 2 squad in to this point, because he is decapping us. And he's utilizing smoke very well in this midpoint. Can hardly see his guys. And he does have numbers, unfortunately. But with this, that 2 squad coming in, 5 gun accuracy on him, we should be able to flip the balance, and we do pretty much immediately do that. We get a couple more singles out onto the flanks, especially where I'd expect a sniper to maybe sneak up on us. Man, we'll do a little micro here, see if we can kind of get some of these guys out of this point. Using suppressing fire on the front guy to try to take up some bullets from this machine gunner in the back. Machine gunner is focusing on him. I was hoping that Faust was going to hit, but it just goes over. Oh, so unfortunate. We need to get rid of that that little piece of wood there, because that is giving him in a really nice position for an MG. But yeah, using suppressing fire like that is good, because not only will it start to suppress the area and anyone in the area, but it'll also kind of focus fire. So anyone in the smoke kind of behind, I can kind of, you know, obviously direct control a little better and get them up further. While that enemy machine gun is just kind of focusing on the guy that he can see. Trying some of that combined arms tactics there. It's just not really combined arms, but maybe infantry tactics, more or less. But we don't get the half track out quick enough. And we do see a Stuart is now out on the field. Engine is broken, so considering this thing's going to die, I'm just going to kind of spray down in front. Try to take some of them out while I bring over the Puma. Because he is pushed up pretty far. He does have line of sight on us. We get up. The Stuart does back up, so he's going to get out of range. We're going to back up ourselves. There's no point in trying to take that frontal engagement right now. And we're going to use these Fusiliers to try to clear out some of this infantry. Hopefully we can get rid of that DP in the back. We do go down, though. SVT. But looks like we do get it either way with that nade, which is great. And I'm going to bring in a Lafayette MG42 emplacement to the right side. Normally, I'd maybe want to keep like a squad in front of my point, but I'm actually going to go with an emplaced MG42. Just to try something a little different. This map has a lot of dips and hills like this. As I can see, the guy repairing has a firm eye. You're controlling a second there, so we're going to take him out to make sure he doesn't fix that thing immediately. And we're going to bring up a Panzer Strike team as well to deal with that. But he does get the Dishka up. And we're just going to turn around the Puma and deal with this real quick. One shot should be significant. Yes, sets it on fire. Perfect. So we can back up and out of there without really even having to worry about it. But he's making a slight push in the middle. Thankfully, we're able to micro these guys just out of the way in time. So that is good. We could keep them alive. Some of our rifle grens are running out of ammo, so I'm going to bring up an ammo crate to get them refilled. Probably should have done that earlier, but the MP did have to go kind of elsewhere at this point. And with that Lafayette going to my point, I can kind of dedicate a little more infantry to the middle instead. So we'll set this guy up in a good position. Looks like a hill might block him there, so we're going to try to get him on an angle right there. And that should be significant enough to kind of prevent any major push from our point until the MG42 is down, at the very least. Yeah. But we're going to bring in these Volksgrens. We'll smoke out, get them into this area. These kind of log piles, I guess. Log formation log piles. We'll do a pretty good job at giving us cover. As long as he's not pushing up like he is. So we'll need to kind of reclaim this area. But that's an area that we could hide an officer in between those log piles, if anything. And I am going to bring in an officer now as well. He's got cap weight, even though we have a decent amount of infantry. Our infantry is in top tier, but he does have cap weight. So I wonder if he has an officer in the point. We should, I feel, be either even, or we should be a little bit better. But I do see the Stuart coming up to challenge, I believe, but it stops. I do lose it in the fog of war, but I know where it was. So I'm going to take a shot, see what happens. If we get it, we get a nice clean shot through to decrew it, and one more shot to finish it off. I knew there was another half track here that he had called in, so we're going to take another shot. We do get the half track as well, so that's on fire. So far he's down 3 DP buys. The half tracks are fairly cheap. Stuart's fairly cheap. But there are some pretty hefty call-ins in that doctrine, including Churchill with Valentine, Sherman, multiple different variants of Shermans. It's also got the Andrusha, which I am not looking forward to if that comes out. So we'll kind of see what he goes with here. But I don't know, we're less than a minute to tier 2, so we'll see. But I called in smoke. Or I didn't call it smoke, right? Sewer smoke on the point. Use the Shrek there to finish off the half track that he was repairing again. And we do get the officer into the building. And where I put him, he's actually behind a fireplace that might... It's pretty indestructible. I don't know if it's completely indestructible, but it is very hard to take that out and get everyone behind there. So I feel pretty confident that that officer is going to live for quite a while. But he still has cap weight on us. So pretty crazy. I feel like we got a decent amount of guys in. We do have room to technically buy a little bit more. And it looks like he's got a PTRD going against the half track, but we can take that out before it does any big damage. We're going to have to move these guys up, try to figure out where he's hiding his guys. Looks like he's got a pretty big grouping on this right side. So we do need to kind of worry about that. But we have taken out a few at the very least to be able to flip the cap in our favor. And with next tier coming already, we're going to get the half track out of there. I did quickly look onto his side in the fog of war to kind of cheat it, see if I could hear anything. I did hear a tag of some type, and we do see a shot ring through the electrical post there, telephone poles. So he's got a tank of some sort. He did miss. We did get the half track out just in time, thankfully. It wouldn't have been the worst thing to lose it, but we did preemptively, because of that quick sneak peek, call in the Jag Panzer IV. So that will be our counter. I would have gone with the artillery signaler as well. That could have been a pretty decent buy, because I could have cleared the point, both buildings and men, because he would have had to run his guys out of the point every time to avoid the flare. Gosh, but yeah, we'll go with a good counter. So far, it's been a very heavy infantry game, so we probably need a counter to whatever tank he just bought in. I doubt the Puma would have been able to deal with it anyway. But he's got something hammering the building with the officer. He's in the right side of it. And looks like it's 76 mil, so it is a light howitzer. So that's going to be very annoying. We really have nothing that can deal with it without coming into range of whatever tank he's got. As long as he doesn't hit the officer, I feel like we'll be okay, because we can keep funneling in infantry. That's kind of my goal at this point. And to free up some cap space, I'm actually going to push with this half track. You see on the road, it looks like it is a Sherman, so we won't get the Sherman call in. We're going to bring this half track straight up into the point, and then potentially run, but a Panzerfaust, I believe, does this in. We do call in our second officer. I'm going to pull out the pistol and the MP40 so that he's only using the binoculars to practice which if any infantry come close or if anything triggers him. And we're going to use this one to actually spot. Try to get a good line of sight onto the Sherman at all times if possible. Or just the point to try to figure out where A, his officers are, or B, his infantry. He's got way more spots that he can kind of hide infantry in at the moment, considering that field guns kind of started to decimate our cover. I'm trying to micro these down a little bit, get some grenades onto the side, but unfortunately we do not do any damage there, which is kind of unfortunate. And I'm going to call in another squad over onto this right side, because I've got no real infantry presence on this side of the point. And as for spotting, we see something cheeky in this building. Looks like it was an officer. So what I did was I hit F6, and I hit it on the top of the tree with the binos, because that is actually going to show you anything and everything under it. It's almost like a lamppost. And he does actually have two officers in that one log building. So I was going to push up with the Puma to try to see if I could get a sneaky shot over there. I'm a little nervous about the angle, for one, but also the Sherman, wherever that is. And we're going to use these guys. I'm right-clicking on just these guys that are kind of laying there. I want to deal with them. Hoping he doesn't have vision. And we're actually going to use the Jagdpanzer on HE to try to deal with the office. If we can get rid of them now, that would be so big. Our first shot misses, and I'm gonna try to get this shot through the door, and we do get one. So one of them is down with that lucky shot. We threaded the needle. See the other one start to run. Second shot unfortunately hits the door frame. There's a half track comes across in the pop there. We're just short. Looks like a lip blocks us, and it looks like we're going into this log living building frame in the back. That shot is right on it. Looks like it might have been a little bit out of range. That was close enough, but you do miss. Shot misses, hits the log pile into the bug. That log is spazzing and actually kills the officer. Oh man, so unfortunate. So with that, both officers are now down. So that's great for us. Now he's just got to keep funneling high tier infantry in to kind of flip the cap weight. We could absolutely get our second officer in there and secure this if we wanted to, but I do want to still use it for respotting. We switch targets with the Jagdpanzer. We do take out the half track, so that is actually a fourth half track that he's called in now. So I would assume, based on units, maybe he has just enough for the Andrusha, and that's what'll be next. So maybe we don't see anything else. Sherman looks like it's moving over towards his point. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's got much left that can call him DP-wise. And we have just enough for what I'm actually planning for, which is going to be the Stuka Zufus. This is very heavy infantry game, so I need to clear out this infantry. The RD signaler would work as well. We could go with like another Puma or the 234 autocannon Puma variant, but I would rather go with some heavy artillery, I think. Oval heavy RD half track. I love it. It's in Foos. So much fun. But he does have cap weight, and I don't know what happened with the Puma here. It may have been a desync, because we are playing on his server. It's from Spain. But the Puma decides to kind of rush in towards the point. Could have been a desync, could have been a misclick on my end, but we do get it out of there, thankfully, before the Sherman reacts. The light howitzer is now shelling kind of this right side of the point, and we also see something just unfortunate. But we're going to try to push up the guys as far as we can and utilize this smoke to our advantage if possible. We've got a couple, probably about like a couple more minutes, 8 minutes, realistically, until we end up seeing what Tier 3 brings, if it is the Andrusha. So we want to try to take advantage of that and build up a little bit of a lead, but we really got to get rid of that field howitzer if we can. Sherman is pushing up. Looks like he's actually using HE on it. I'm going to try to challenge it with the Jagdpanzer. I did move the officer over onto the left side point now, so I'm going to try to do the same thing with this big tree and the binoculars. Just see if I can keep it up. We miss. I think we hit the top of that building in the middle, which is unfortunate. We bounce. He's out of field of view again. We'll try with the officer once more. A little short. There we go. We're going to try this second tree in the back, which does seem to do it here. Short again. Try to get a better angle. Ooh, we bounced it off that roof. So I'm just going to pull back. It's not worth it. Considering grabbing a 221 is to try to rush it onto one of the sides and take out that field howitzer or over potentially. But I do nix that idea. Really worth it. Kind of be a waste. I doubt it would make it, truthfully. I'm slightly getting concerned with how much damage the field howitzer is really doing to me. He's just making it inconvenient to where I can't really secure this group. And he's got way more infantry apparently in there that are probably higher value. Well, it's not like we're dealing with the assault sappers, but that the support doctrine or all-around doctrine gets, because those things are crazy cap weight. But he does probably have like cavalry squads with this doctrine in there. Cavalry and guards livery. But we move over the Jagdpanzer. I was going to try to get a better shot. And we do get a nice one. Looks like we take out 3 crew and maybe take out the gun there. We bounced the second shot. Probably should have either gone for the turret again or aimed lower hull. MG port is also a good location to aim for. Shout out any War Thunder players. I'm sure you guys are well aware of that. Hit it again with a nice shot. We are moving over the Puma while the gun's down. Let's actually try to use the Puma to take out the field howitzer if possible here. Take a bridge. You do hit a tree with the first shot. Second shot overshoots, which is super unfortunate. Third one will hopefully do it. We do decrew it. I don't know if the gun's full damage though, so I do F6 it to try to shoot at the ground. And looks like we just continually decrewed it again. He's getting back on it though, and it is recrewed. So now I gotta get the Puma out. And unfortunately, I guess the gun is back up on the Sherman. That thing repaired quick. So we do lose the Puma. It's very unfortunate. But kind of did its job. Dealt with a lot of the light vehicles. It did take out the field howitzer for a second there. I don't know if maybe it's damaged and just can't shoot. Who knows? Well, we're going to kind of spread out some of these guys a little bit. I think he might know that the officer's there now because he tried to Panzerschreck it. He did blow open a hole in it, but the officer is still thankfully behind the fireplace. Didn't do any damage. Trying to throw grenades and Faust this area from where he just shot from. And try to clear some of these guys out. We do have the cap value, but it's not going to last very long considering he has another squad coming in. And I'm actually going to pull in the Panzer III-N to get my own field howitzer out, but armored and mobile. So I'm not really going to have to like micro this in. I'm not going to have to buy a truck to get this thing up. It's going to come up, obviously. And thankfully, it should be pretty decent at clearing out this point. So that's my goal. We're going to park it on the hill and try to get some good angles. Try to clear this point out here. Oh, we're about 2.5 minutes now to tier 3. So we did not get very far. Somehow he's actually still ahead of us. Score. Very even game for the moment. But this thing up on the hill and our reinforcing infantry should be able to get us in there, thankfully. And with tier 3 right around the corner, you'll see I've kind of got a decent spread of guys alongside base with vision and line of sight. It's still not going to be enough, in theory, with where they're set up. I need to spread them out even more, looking back at this. Because I think someone can correct me. I know Kibru knows the numbers, but I think it's like within 15 to 20 meters, like a sniper is invisible if he's crawling. So this map has so many dips in the trade. I'm sure it's probably why Kibru chose the map, as we get a nice shot there with Panzer III-N. But I'm sure he wanted to utilize the terrain to sneak a sniper through. Try to deal with my my heavy units. Shot for 4 there. Phenomenal. Clear that squad immediately. But yeah, I wanted to try to spread out my defenses as best as possible to give me line of sight, because I know it's coming. He's got to be sneaking near it. Now is when I'm kind of expecting it. And with tier 3 right around the corner, I did not want to lose my Stuka as soon as I called in. So we shall see. We shall see. Hopefully we don't run into an issue with that. But I am actually kind of surprised that we haven't had any issues up to this point, because I do have some pretty big gaps in the lines, especially on the northeast side. Other than the MG4 he's doing was 2 guys, he could easily sneak guys along the edge, through the middle, to 2 boys even. So, like, crazy. I think it's just the fact that we kind of stuck with our guns of trying to bleed his MP dry. He MP dry in gap space because he needs the cab value because he lost his officers. So he probably just either not got the sniper that far up, or it just hasn't made an appearance yet, which now I'm really scared. But I try to cheat and not cheat, but you know what I mean, try to cheat it, see if I can hear what's coming in the fog of war. I do slightly hear a truck, so I believe that is going to be the Andrusha. We did call the Subazufu, so I wasn't waiting for it. Nice hit on, I believe that was a stationary truck there. And before he can get a shot off on me, I actually think he might have range on me, depending on where he goes. I'm going to immediately call the Stuka and try to get a shot off on the Field Hauser. I want that thing on. If we hit the Shermans, phenomenal, so be it. It's on my main target. Main target's actually that bit out there. Andrusha does come in, so you shell in the middle of the port. Fortunately, he is the officer, so we lose the officer, we lose the rest of that building. We do still have a second one though, so we do come down to crunch time and we need to get an officer in the point. I will sacrifice spotting on the Sherman, because it is still spotting the Sherman. Just that +6 on the tree is still hope to true. So if we need to, we'll get him into the point. But I pulled that squad out because the Hauser is just kind of shelling this right side. Was waiting for the smoke to kind of fill out. We'll get him in now. We're going to pull up the Jaeger squad onto the left side. Still trying to get these guys kind of on this right. And I'm actually going to try to go for the Field Hauser as well. I really need to get rid of this thing. Fortunately, we have range, but it's actually now impossible for me to arc it over that slight range. So now I'm kind of in a predicament. If he pushes with the Sherman, he can absolutely deal with me and take this thing out. But if he does, I mean, he's just going to open himself up to the Jagdpanzer, and we'll be waiting for that. And it looks like he's not going to push. We'll back him out. We're going to get these guys into this right side of the point. We do have the Jaegers coming in on the left as well. So we'll smoke out with these 2 guys that are already in point. Throw some more smokes here. And we will get these guys spread out on this side as well. I'm going to get an ammo truck out immediately. I do feel that this is probably a spam long game. Could push an hour, maybe. But nothing's go. Who falls at first. It's going to come down to who loses their main assets. For him, it's going to be the Sherman and the Andrusha. For me, it's the Jagdpanzer, Stuka, and you can say Panzer, yeah. And I don't want to lose that if we can avoid it, because that's going to be my big piece. I feel like the Field Hauser for him is very beneficial, and obviously I'm complaining about it heavily, but it's not. And unfortunately, you do get it's actually an ATN that's called here, and he does take out one of the guys, crew shock us. Trying to turn around to get the gun up. Could have been a huge mistake, but thankfully the Lafayette takes him out, and his second shot, I removed this up the so, or the turret, I guess. So we are able to get this thing out. We'll get it out of there, go repair. You got to get more infiltrates in the middle, considering he does still have cap value. Stuka's almost ready though, so I am going to use that again on the Field Howitzer though. I'm playing for the longer game. He asks for a pause. He's host, so I do remind him. And I do tell him, yes, he can pause. He doesn't immediately, though, so, I mean, I'm just going to keep playing until he does, I guess. There's no point in pausing my actions and letting him get any advantage. I don't know what's going on there, why he needs a pause. With direct control of this AT guy, we'll start taking fire there from the original DP still. And I decided to go for the Sherman, and I rushed the shot because I knew I was going to die. I knew I was taking fire. If I had just waited a second or just aimed over to the left a little bit, I bet we would have torpedoed that thing. That's so unfortunate. So we'll use the Stuka. We do get first shot. Andrusha was after us, so I know we've got a second here. Fire out. We finally take out the field howitzer. Second shot decrews the, well, it's not second shot, but one of the final rockets does take out the Sherman as well, which is great. So Sherman's decrewed. And we do get the pause. So he does pause. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because it did take, we were probably sitting here for at least 5 minutes or so while he was doing whatever. So basically in this time, I'm just kind of looking around the map, trying to see what I need to do. It's kind of a good thing. I didn't need a pause for any reason. So I'm going to use this time just to kind of get an awareness of the situation, see what I can move around, what I need to spread out. I'm sure the Andrusha is going to come immediately. What I can call in. But we're in a pretty good place. We are still somehow losing. Our infantry has just been kind of getting shredded. Pretty high tier infantry too, getting shredded in the middle because of that field howitzer. But now we're kind of in a good position that it's down. The Sherman's also down to hopefully start decapping and then flip this. Once the Panzer IIIM's back up and running, we should be in a better position too. But he does finally say go. And Kikaru speak. Hit him with a plus for an affirmative. And we're now going to do exactly what we utilized that time for. So heal anyone that needs to be healed. Spread out the guys a little bit here to hopefully survive the Andrusha shot. Get some of these guys into the point, back into the ammo crate. Get these guys sprinting up since they did not sprint. Panzer IIIM is repaired on the turret. It's not full repaired, but I do decide to just stop the repair at this point and get this thing up because we do need to start decapping, and we do get hit with a second pause, unfortunately. So we're in a pretty good place. KD is definitely in our favor from that quick look. Hit him with a question mark to figure out what's going on, why he paused without saying anything. And it turns out his mic, or not his mic, his mouse had died. He was trying to get batteries. So at this point, unfortunately, with all these pauses and how long it took for the recording, I actually ran out of space on my hard drive. And we do lose probably the last 5 minutes of the game. Not much happens. We do find a sniper Shrek close to the Jagdpanzer. We do kill it before he can do any damage. And the only other thing that we really did was move up the Jagdpanzer to try to take out the Sherman before it could be fully repaired. But that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun 1v1. Appreciate the game, Kikaru. Hopefully we can get another one in sometime soon. Here's the end screen. I know the points are in his favor, but I do promise I did win. I can show anyone who doesn't believe me. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned for another one.